Hello players, so welcome to week 3. We have Dhruv on seat 1, Pat on seat 2, Subrat on seat 3 and Pavan on seat 4. We can start right away. The questions are loaded. Just give me 1 second to share the sound. Yeah, done. Okay, directs to Dhruv. So the islands of Greece is divided into 6 island groups, one being North Aegean, located in the east and northeast of the country. An island from this group is notable for people like Pythagoras and Aristarchus of Dash, astronomer and mathematician who lived from 310 to 230 before Common Era, the first known individual to propose the heliocentric model. The plan can be obtained by deleting the last letter from the name of a deep-fried South Asian street food. Oh, forgot to answer.
Samos, Pythagoras of Samos.
Correct. This is indeed Samos. Some issue with the press. Okay, yeah. Now, a second. So at a young age of 29, Barbara McClintock, a cytogeneticist, discovered blank, that is 7,5 letters, plural, that is transposable elements, aka transposons, during her work on maize. In 1986, she was awarded the Nobel Prize in Physiology or Medicine for this discovery. The blank gives you the impression that the units of heredity is acrobatic. Fill in the blanks.
No, pass.
Okay, passing to Pat.
Jumping genes.
Correct. This is indeed jumping genes, also known as transposable elements or transposons. This is just a diagram showing how it's done. Integration of a plasmid containing a transposon. And now your third question. Certain type of plants found in the intertidal zone appear in at least 172 postage stamp and 4 cows of at least 37 countries collected by philatelists, characterized by their halophilic nature and special roots called pneumatophores, which can directly absorb atmospheric gases. What are they called?
Nitrogen fixing plants?
Oh, sorry. Super.
Mangroves?
Yeah, that is indeed correct. So the halophilic means salt larvae. We find them in the salty marshes nearby.
I didn't know they appear in 172 postage stamps.
Yeah. So the roots that you've seen upturn are the pneumatophores. They have, they can absorb gases directly. Now, Pat, your directs. The Canadian American James X, who had the stage name The Amazing X during his career as a magician, also was an author and a scientific skeptic. He extensively challenged paranormal and pseudoscientific claims and established the $1 million paranormal challenge, which remained unclaimed until its termination in 2015. Also, the name of one of Mark Zuckerberg's sisters, Identify X. The word is also a cuss word in Hindi.
Oh, pardon my language. Randy.
Yes. Randy. James Randy. Now, second question. Right. So the early 1980s saw the first experiments in which scientists turned DNA or any biological data for that matter into music. David Deamer, a biomolecular engineer and a pianist, realized that 3 out of 4 bases of DNA, that is letters, correspond to musical notes A, G, and C. He made a proxy note for the other base. Later, Deamer et al. Collaborated and released the cassette DNA Suit, Hour of Music, based on the human insulin gene and some bacterial DNA sequences. So, what is the 4th nitrogen base or the proxy musical note? You can see the base on the left and the note on the right. So, tell me if you're mentioning the base of the note. That will start the timer and play the music so I can think in the meanwhile. Any guesses?
Tyrosine?
Could you repeat that?
Tyrosine?
Oh, sorry. Correct. That's incorrect. No, Pavan?
Oh, E. The note is E.
Correct. So, any guesses on the other? The nitrogen is base. Anyone?
Urotropin.
Uracil.
No, the corresponding in DNA. So uracil is in RNA. What do you
Okay,
get?
so thymine.
Thymine is the
Thymine.
correct answer. Thymine or E. So, these are how it looks.
I thought you wanted the corresponding in RNA. This was anyway thymine.
No. So just in the context of this question, the corresponding.
Yeah. Okay.
Third question for Pat. For political reasons, in the year 1800, the English East India Company, located at Fort St. George, later Madras, ordered surveys of Peninsular India. William Lambton, one of the 33rd Regiment of Foot, who had arrived in Madras at the time to join forces for the army against the Mysore Tiger, Tipu Sultan, in 1799, started the scientifically accurate landscape measurement in 1801 using a branch of math school students will be familiar with. One of the three major surveys that were concurrently launched in India. What was it called based on the branch of math?
The Great Triangulation? Trigonometry?
I'll prompt you on that. I need the full name.
The Triangulation Survey of India?
Sorry, I can't give it to you. Passing to Dhruv.
I thought that was that pass.
Okay. Dhruv?
I think it was the Great Trigonometrical Survey of India.
Yeah. Sorry, I have to be pedantic on that. So
Okay. I mean,
the Great Trigonometric Survey of India, or TGSI. This is how they did
started
it.
from Chennai. Yeah.
Madras or Chennai. Now, the rest is Subrat. This engineer quit his job under Edison due to the latter's reception regarding salary and partnered with two businessmen, Robert Lane and Benjamin Whale, to create the Blank Electric Light and Manufacturing in 1886. The first patents issued to this engineer were for dynamo electric machine commutators, a design which reduced sparking, which was common in commutators at the time. Name the engineer.
Westinghouse.
Sorry. No.
Pass.
Pavan.
Yes.
Passing to Pat.
Pass.
Okay, Westing is a house was a popular guess, but this is indeed a Tesla. So that is Tesla Electric Light and Manufacturing.
Come on.
Second, at the Bristol University's Cross-Boundary Science Center, an interactive musical touchscreen exhibit for the youth by the biochemist Linda Long ran for 12 years. It associated instrumental sounds to common proteins in the body. What technique did she use? If she took proteins and converted their atoms or molecules to highly organized forms, and then used an electromagnetic radiation discovered by Willem Röntgen to observe it in fine details. So it's 1-3,15. The numbers representing the 3D structure of the protein is passed through a computer program and then converted to musical notes. I'll play the music. So that was for thyroid hormone.
X-ray. Complication.
Oh, sorry. Passing to Dhruv.
X-ray crystallography.
Correct. Indeed.
Okay.
Crystallography. X-ray crystallography. Now, third question to you. James Randi founded the Committee for Skeptical Inquiry in 1976, along with the astronomer Carl Sagan and which science fiction writer who penned the 3 Laws of Robotics in his 1942 short story Runaround. The Foundation series and I, Robot are some of his famous works.
Isaac Asimov.
Correct. Indeed, Isaac Asimov. Directs to Pawan. In the movie Octopussy, 1983, Bond's contact in India is a man pretending to be a snake charmer, played ironically by the phobic Vijay Amritraj, who says, "This was the wrong cover, I hate snakes," while moving a snake back into a bin. A different species of this group of snakes appears in the Casino Royale in 2006 as a stage fight with a mongoose. All known species of this group, mostly in the family Lapidae, are venomous and many are capable of rearing upwards and producing a hood when threatened. Which group is this?
Cobras.
Correct. Is indeed cobras, or the genus Naja. The one in Octopussy is most likely the Indian cobra, Naja, and the one in the Casino Royale on the right way, that is probably a snouted or banded Egyptian. Second question to you. A sheet of 12 stamps entitled Magnificent Blank Birds was released in 2011 by Bangladesh. The Blank is the name of the largest mangrove forest in the world, located along the Ganges Delta, nearly 60% lying within Bangladesh and 40% in India. Fill in the blank.
Aquatic.
Sorry. Do.
Sundarbans.
Correct. Sundarbans, meaning beautiful forest. You get to see a lot of kingfishers, adjutants, stork, pitta, and herons in the stamps.
Oh yeah. Kingfisher.
Third question. From the 90s, Doyle Sternheimer, a French physicist and a musician, has claimed that using physics, he was able to translate into audible vibrations of music the quantum vibrations that occur at molecular level as an amino acid turns into proteins. He claimed to have grown tomatoes 2.5 times bigger using this method for tomato growth promoters compared to ones which didn't receive this treatment. This method is seen as musical notes in the image here of the enzyme or enzyme family blank oxidase responsible for the oxidation of blank C. So the blank translates to off cells, colored thing, 10 letters to fill in the blank.
Cytochrome.
Excellent. This is indeed cytochrome. So cytochrome oxidase, and the last part of the chain of electron respiratory chain, right, in human membrane, cell membranes. Now, round 2, directs to Dhruv. The reverse of what many scientists were doing by converting proteins into songs was published in a paper by Milasso et al. Describing a way to convert music into de novo protein structures using deep learning and molecular modeling. Which 1741 work, probably named after its original composer, did they convert into proteins? A chain reaction type contraption named after an American cartoonist designed to perform a simple task in a complicated way has the same name.
Goldberg variations.
Correct. This is Goldberg variations. So the clue being Rube Goldberg, the Goldberg machine, right? Yeah, and probably it's not named after Goldberg because he was only 13 at the time, and although he was a harpsichordist, there is no proof that he created this. Second, the Blank experiments, named after Stanley Blank, sought to measure the willingness of 40 teachers, that's in T, subjects of the experiments to obey authority figure, the experimenter, E, whose instructions it followed resulted in the learners on the bottom receiving electric shocks if they answered questions incorrectly. These learners were actors pretending to get shocked while some teachers ended their participation partway in, some were willing to go up to 450 volts, which could have been lethal if it was real. The blank is just a Lee short of a unit of measurement. Fill in the blank.
Milgram?
Correct. Nicely worked out. Now, Milgram experiment. Third question for you. The partner's tale uses common animals as both metaphors and characters, departing from the association of rats and polecats as malicious, stinky animals, as was the norm in the medieval 14th century England when it was written. In this tale, which involves murder of compatriots for greed, the human shrews or the cursed rioters invented by the partner exploit the usual assumptions of rats and a polecat. Which larger work is this tale a part of, or identify the author?
Canterbury Tales?
Yes, this is Canterbury Tales by Chaucer. Geoffrey Chaucer. Yeah. The guy. Give me 1 second. Yeah. Patio directs. In the movie Honor Majesty's Secret Service, the official title of a genealogist named Sir Hilary Bray is Sable Dash, Pursuivant of the College of Arms. The blank is also the name of one of 4 species of forest lizards of tropical North and South America belonging to the family Iguanidae, getting their name from a resemblance to the legendary monster called Dash. Mostly found along streams, they will quickly run across water on their hind legs when frightened, giving them the alternate name Jesus Christ lizards. Fill in the blank.
Basilisk.
Correct. This is the deed basilisk. This is the plumed basilisk. Second. Conducted by Watson and Rayner, published in 1920, the aim of experiment XY was to condition a phobia in an emotionally stable 3-month-old infant who was referred to as Y. This was to test Watson's hypothesis that fearful response of children to loud noises is an innate unconditioned response. Identify XY if X equal to first part of the name when the atomic bomb dropped in Hiroshima, and Y is the first name of the scientist, proven correct by Arthur Eddington's observation of a solar eclipse.
Little Albert.
Correct. Little Albert. The clues being little boy and Albert Einstein. His theory of relativity, general relativity, was proven by Eddington's photograph first saw the eclipse from the African continent. Now, third question for you. This island in the Cyclades group gets its name from its first ruler, a son or a grandson of CS. It's called the City of Winds, a fact exploited by early inhabitants via windmills and now via wind turbines for electrification. It houses an archaeological museum built in 1905 to house the findings from the purification set of 426/425 BCE. Identify the island which appears in the last scene of the Bone Identity and scenes of Salte Salte in 2002 and 2 and 3 respectively. The one over here. Five seconds.
Mykonos.
Yes, that is correct. This is going to be Mykonos. Directs to Subret. The image below shows a heart-shaped mangrove appearing in the stamp published in 2000 by which French territory in Southwest Pacific Ocean. A corvid species, one of the smartest in the world, endemic and named after this territory, is the only animal other than humans to use hook tools.
I'll just go with French Polynesia.
Sorry, incorrect. Okay.
Is it the Javan crow?
Sorry, that's incorrect. Pat?
New Caledonia.
Yeah, it's indeed New Caledonia. So it's New Caledonian Crow or Corvus monodeloides, or the Friends in Nouvelle Caledonie, subject of the Novia course. Second question for you. In 1905, this female scientist was the first to observe that the male mealworms produce two different kinds of sperm. This observation led to the discovery of the sex chromosomes X and Y. Despite the first to make the observation, she did not receive recognition for her discovery, while her male colleagues Edmund Wilson and Thomas Mahan Morgan were invited to prestigious talks. The latter received the Nobel Prize for the same. 82 years after her death, her name was inducted into the National Women's Hall of Fame in the USA. Name her first and last name is needed.
You need both names.
Hmm.
Nettie Stevens.
Correct. Excellent. Indeed, Nettie Stevens or Nettie Maria Stevens. She died of breast cancer in 1912. Now, third question, please.
To create the effect, you need three colorless liquids: potassium, a mixture of malonic acid, and manganese sulfate monohydrate, and finally some hydrogen peroxide.
So your question is, the video shows the experiment titled Briggs-Rosher oscillating clock. As you can see, like the color keep on changing. The presence of which element in free or bounded state results in the color change. This element is added to an alkali metal compound used widely in cooking to avoid a deficiency in humans.
Iodine.
Correct. This iodine. The flue being NaCl or table salt. Directs to Pavan. A sequel book written by Rudyard Kipling while in Vermont and published in 1895 with all but one story set in India contains the story The Red Dog. This story spread some myths about the dole, like doles are a very silent people as a rule, when they actually have individually unique chirrups and other sounds like yips, childlike chattering, and calls, so which no other wild canid make. Name the sequel.
Kim.
Sorry, could you repeat?
Kim.
Incorrect. To
Jungle Book.
sorry, to that. Wait.
Pass. Sorry.
Okay, pass. Subrat.
I'm not getting it. Okay, pass.
Let me check the. I forgot what prompt I put in, but let me just. You passed, right? I'll just check the prompt and let you know if it's.
No, it's a sequel
Oh
to
yeah,
Jungle
yeah,
Book.
yeah. No, no,
Oh.
I put in especially
No,
one
that's
prompt.
fine.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, second.
Second.
Yeah, yeah. Stuff like that. So now just second. It doesn't have audio. So you might be familiar with the explosive reaction of sodium with water. An even more explosive reaction is that of another element with water, as shown in the video. Which element is this? If it is the fifth alkaline metal, sodium being the second, and virtually the most reactive metal, and has an atomic number of 55. A legal written notice to stop an activity is a hint to the element's name. Five seconds.
I'm not getting a pass.
To Pat.
Pass.
Subrat.
Cesium.
Is correct. Indeed, cesium. You get it from the clue.
No, I got it. I know the periodic table.
Oh, excellent.
So lithium, sodium, potassium,
Yeah.
cesium, rubidium, francium.
Excellent. So these are the alkaline metals.
Rubidium, cesium, francium. Sorry.
Yeah. Nice one. Now your third. So what's the collective name of the series of experiments that Albert Bandura conducted in the 1960s on observational learning by children called XY? Its name comes from the 1 meter tall XY, 4,4 letters, which was used for punching to study if aggression was imitated by kids. The middle two letters of X forms the name of a major river in Russia. And two letters are repeated twice in X. Okay. Passing or
Pass.
okay. The Pat.
Bobo doll.
Correct. It's indeed Bobo doll.
Ob.
Yeah, oh, this is the clue. Yeah. The river in Russia. Now directs to Dhruv. GIFT City is India's first operational smart city, which was conceptualized in 2007. The first phase of the project, which covers 886 acres of land area, is expected to be completed by 2025. So, what is F and T if GI is Gujarat International? Five seconds. Any guess?
Financial terminal. Making stuff up.
Sorry, Pawan.
Pass.
Pat.
Pass.
Dhruv?
Financial tech.
Yeah, tech is correct. Tough luck on that terminal thing. But good guess. So this
No,
is,
no, I've been there.
oh yeah, yeah. You should probably would. Now, second question for you. Blank induction motor, which Tesla patented in May 1888, was developed based on a power system which was taking hold in Europe and USA because it could run high voltage transmission lines over long distances. This device used polyphase blank, which generated a rotating magnetic field that turned an integral part of the device. Since it was self-starting, it did not require a commutator and hence had no marking problems. So fill in the blanks or give the two-letter abbreviation.
Alternating current.
Correct. This is AC. Alternating current or AC. Good one. Now your third.
Using a lump of mercury thiocyanate and applying a flame to it, you can trigger a chemical reaction that was described as winding out from itself at the same time to many times its former bulk out of a very light material of the color of graphite. The mercury thiocyanate is broken down into mercury sulfide, carbon disulfide, and carbonitride, while the main component of the ash is graphitic carbon nitride, which is yellow in color.
Okay. Question is, so the experiment is named after the fact that the product has the color associated with the ancient rulers of a civilization, 7 letters singular, and looks like a scale feature of legends, a widespread mythological symbol. So identify the name, blanks blank. Right. So that's it. Okay.
No,
Any-
pass. No. Pass.
Pawan?
Chinese dragon.
Interesting guess, but incorrect. Pat?
Pass.
Subrat?
Not getting the second one. Pass.
Okay, any guesses then?
Pharaoh's something.
Some pharaohs. Pharaohs something.
Pharaoh.
Pharaoh's
what?
Pharaoh. I mean, dragon. I thought, but it is 6-letter.
Oh, so close.
Yeah.
It's Pharaoh's serpent.
Pharaoh's
Yeah.
serpent.
Snake would, even snake would 30 points.
Pharaohs I got, but serpent. Yeah. But I got distracted by the mythological.
Okay. So, that questions for you. So, Elizabeth Helen Blackburn is the first Australian woman Nobel laureate awarded the Nobel Prize in Physiology or Medicine in 2009. Which enzyme did she co-discover with Carol W. Greider? They're responsible for maintenance of the length of DNA protein structures found at both ends of the chromosomes by addition of guanine-rich repetitive sequences. These structures shorten as we age due to the lower amount of enzymatic activity.
Telomerase.
Excellent. This is telomerase. Telomerase. So telomeres being the structures at the end, the DNA protein structures, also called the terminal transferase. Second question. A set of 4 stamps issued by Fiji in 1991 showed the mangrove-associated animals Selacerata, Metapograssus mesor, Paraceserma erythrodactyla, and Cardisoma carnifex. And in 2007, another featuring mangrove dash. Identify both if the former are decapod crustaceans of the infraorder Brachyura, and the latter are a family of marine crustaceans in the family Nephropidae. So 4 and 7 letters respectively. Seconds.
The mangrove crab and robber crab.
Sorry, Pavan.
Coconut crab and the mangrove crab.
Sorry to Dhruv.
Crab and lobster.
Yes, that is what I'm looking for. As simple as that. So this is crab and lobster. Now, third question to Pat. This short story titled My Evil Mother is a story about a teenager whose mother may or may not be a witch in 1950s suburbia located on the northern margin of Toronto, the author's address. The story briefly described that there was a rapid expansion of the city over farm fields and that they drained swamps, destroying the world population. Identify the author of this book, whose novels include a 1985 futuristic dystopian classic involving forced surrogacy.
Margaret Atwood.
Correct. This is indeed Margaret Atwood. The tale being The Handmaid's Tale. Yeah, and she lives in Toronto, Canada. Now, direct to Subrat. Located close to the Peloponnese mainland by a narrow strip of water, this island from the Saronic group hosts a Permian limestone strata containing some well-preserved fossils. It is also the birthplace of Lady Venizelos, a noted conservationist. Which island deriving its name from water in Greek due to the natural springs it contains, but is ironically so dry that they have to import water from the mainland. The name is also shared by an Iberian and Eagle organization in NC.
Hydra.
Yes, this is Hydra. Or Yedra or Hydra. Now, second question. The BBC Y study in 2002 was carried out to test the themes of the XY experiment conducted in 1971 by ex-university professor Philip Zimbardo, which was a 2-week simulation of a Y environment. The result of the situational attribution-based study is compatible with those of the Milgram experiment. Identify XY, which is now considered a completely unscientific fraudulent experiment.
The Stanford prison trial.
Yes, this is indeed Stanford prison experiment. So now, Philip Zimbardo is said to have fudged some data, and the people involved were acting, some of them. Now, third, Lambton spearheaded TGSI, that is a Great Trigonometric Survey of India, until his death in 1823 at Hingengut, now in Maharashtra, which was taken over by his trainee until completion. This trainee is known to everyone by an 8,000 mountain named in his honor, the naming of which he objected to because the natives would would be unable to pronounce it, and it's difficult to write it in Hindi. A famous tourist spot, the hill next to the past residence of the geographer and surveyor at Mussoorie, around 2000 meter above sea level, is known by its full name. Identify this individual.
Everest.
Correct. This is and his pronunciation is a little different from what we would expect. It's Everest. George Everest. Mount Everest was named after him. Pavan directs. In 2012, Jennifer Doudna on the right and Emmanuel Charpentier on the left was the first to propose that X could be used for programmable editing of genomes, which has been called one of the most significant discoveries in the history of biology. They went on to win the Nobel Prize in Chemistry in 2020 for this discovery, IDX, which is 6 letters hyphen 4 letters. Okay.
Ranking pass.
To Pat.
CRISPR-Cas9.
Yeah.
Exactly correct. CRISPR-Cas9, CRISPR being the technology clustered regularly in the space short palindromic repeats, and the Cas9 is a protein, so you can insert a gene between the DNA using this technology. Now, on your second, Mr. Popov, a wealthy California preacher who claimed to correctly identify afflictions of the sick and cure them, had a cult following in TV and radio in the 1980s. James Randi busted Popov using a radio scanner that picked Popov's wife relaying information about people in the crowd into a small receiver hidden in his ear. James later commented, I didn't realize God used a frequency of 39.17 mega blank and had a voice exactly like that of Elizabeth Popov's. So fill in the blank, the SI unit for frequency.
Hertz.
Correct. This is indeed hertz. Third question. So part of the Dodecanese group, this island shares its name with the surname of Cecil, after whom an education grant to the University of Oxford is named after. The largest island in the Dodecanese, its mountainous interior is covered by cypress and pine, with limestone as main bedrock. It hosts a genetically distinct population of the fallow deer, Dama Dama. Identify the island, 6 letters, if the name is shared with the US state also.
Rhodes.
Correct. This is Rhodes. Flume being Rhodes Scholar and the island being US state being Rhode Island. Now we are entering round 4, so let's look at the scores. We have Pat and Subrat tied, followed closely by Dhruv and then by Pavan. We still have one more round to go, so I mean the scores ultimately don't matter because we're using a different scoring system, right? Now, to your directs. The main Bond girl in the 1969 movie, On Her Majesty's Secret Service, is mostly referred to as Teresa Tracy Dash throughout the movie. Her surname, coming from her crime syndicate family, is also the name of a genus of agamid lizards. Also known as flying dragons, they are capable of gliding flight via membranes that may be extended to create wings, formed by an enlarged set of ribs. So I'll show you how it looks like. This is the ribs on the sides, right? So what's the name of these lizards or her surname?
No, pass.
Pat?
Draco.
Correct. Indeed. Draco or Draco. Now, second. This device of unknown origin, but dating back to the 16th century English mathematician Leonard Dicke, was used for the GTSI by Lambert and Everest to measure horizontal and vertical angles for their triangulation. The version that they used was the Great Carey blank, an exact replica of the Bessie Ramsden blank. While familiar modern electronic versions of these used for civil engineering work as lightweight with its recognizable tripod, the Great Carey blank took 12 strong men to carry. Identify the device.
Pass.
into breath.
Extent.
Sorry, correct to Aman.
Pass.
Pat.
Theodolite.
Ah, come on.
Theodolite is correct. But you were thinking of the one that they use in oceans for navigating, the sextant.
It was a 50-50. I just
Okay. Tough luck then. Third question to the so James Randi had been involved in debunking what alternative medicine invented in the late 18th century by German physician Samuel Hahnemann. He participated in the 1023 challenge, where consumer advocates around the world try to overdose on blank remedies to show that they don't work. In 2015, a systematic review which assessed more than 1,800 studies showed that this alternate medicine is completely ineffective.
Homeopathic.
Correct. This is indeed homeopathic medicines or homeopathy. Okay, now direct to Pat.
To create the effect, you need some hydrogen peroxide liquid, dishwashing soap, food coloring, water, and some yeast. To start with, you add the hydrogen peroxide, soap, and coloring into a plastic bottle and mix it together, while combining warm water and yeast in a separate cup. When you're ready, the yeast mixture is added to the peroxide mixture, and the result is a huge amount of foam being produced that looks just like what you'd expect to use as...
Your question is, so what is the name of the experiment in the video? Named so because it looks like something a pachyderm would use for an activity which most humans carry out daily.
An elephant sponge.
Sorry, Pawan?
Elephant's toothpaste.
Yeah, so I steal that. So, this is indeed toothpaste, elephant's toothpaste. Now, second question. The Tesla Dash company started selling an 1896 patented device in 1900 based on the Tesla coil that bubbled, dashed through different kind of oils to make a therapeutic cell. It is one of Tesla's attempt to market devices making the production of this molecule, later the subject of the Montreal Protocol. Identify the inorganic molecule or fill in the blank.
Ozone.
Ozone is correct. The Montreal Protocol was expanded to Montreal Protocol on substances that deplete the ozone layer, like freon. Right. And third, similar to a type of sound made by small birds and crickets, which particular technique is employed when broadcasting using LoRa, that is long range radio frequency modulation, to ensure that signals are resistant to noise and can travel long distance.
Stridulation.
Sorry.
Pass.
Good.
Spectrum modulation.
Sorry. Avan?
Spread spectrum.
Pass.
Passing.
Chirping, is it?
Yeah, it is indeed chirping. So stridulation creates chirping sounds in crickets, and small birds also chirp. Simple theory. So IEEE 802.15.4 is a network communication standard that prioritizes low cost, low speed, and reliable communication between connected devices. Similar to how Xerox is used synonymously with photocopying. So what is the brand name? Is synonymous with IEEE 802.14.4. The 6-letter term contains the name of an insect crucial for the pollination of a lot of crops.
I'm not getting it.
Any guesses or
I'll just go with it. No. Okay. Ethernet.
are incorrect? Two.
Pass.
Comment?
Pass.
Pat?
Pass.
Okay. Have you heard of ZigBee? So,
Okay. Hmm.
like Bluetooth and Wi-Fi, you have ZigBee, which has a longer range than Wi-Fi, Bluetooth and stuff, but it is slower, much slower.
Got some distance to go before it can be equivalent of a Xerox. So,
Yeah.
not-
Yeah, but whenever it is used like a synonym for that technology. Now, second question for you. So dash 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 gets dressed in a children's book by 3-time Caldecott honoree Mo Willems. It tells the story. It tells the story of Wilbur who likes getting dressed. Ironically, considering the name of the animal, the story indirectly posits some philosophical questions surrounding social norms and taboos. These animals are strange for a mammal, given that they are ectothermic in body temperature regulation and exhibits a complex social structure between reproductive and non-reproductive castes, making it the only widely recognized examples of eusociality in mammals. Fill in the blank.
Um,
Any guess?
I don't. Nothing. Okay, pass.
Okay, Dhruv,
Pass. Sorry.
Pavan,
Naked mole rat.
exactly. Excellent.
Oh, right. Very
And
nice.
does anyone recognize what the code is about? Okay, so essentially any mammals having "ole" in their name. So we had polecat, we had vole, we had what else should we have? So essentially mammals with mammals with "ole" in their name. Now your third. In Skyfall, for the first time in James Bond history, the fully CGI animals are shown in a fight scene which occurred at a floating casino of the coast of Shanghai. These reptiles originated in Australia, where their extirpation about 50,000 years ago roughly coincided with the arrival of humans. They moved to the Indonesian islands, arriving at the island of Flores in around 900,000 years ago. Which reptile species which can produce offspring through parthenogenesis, that is without male conjugation?
Go with Komodo dragons.
That is indeed the correct answer. Komodo dragon or Varanus Komodo answer. And this is that scene. Oh, yeah. Sorry about that. Yeah, this is that scene. Now, last set of questions, last three questions. Pavan, your redirects. The basic principle behind the GTSI was this: 2 points known as benchmarks were selected, and the British sent out a local help to measure the distance between these 2 points, crossing treacherous waters and thick jungles on foot. Once the distance was measured accurately, they then measure the azimuth to a third point, which forms an imaginary triangle. This gives two angles and a length of a side of a triangle. Using a result in trigonometry, the length of the other sides are calculated. This process is then repeated with the calculated sides as benchmarks to form a network of triangles. What is this trigonometric results? Named after the person who was born in Samos.
Pythagorean theorem.
Correct. Indeed, Pythagorean theorem. Yeah. So in mathematics, theorems are called results since they are outcomes of investigation of some process. Now, second, Emile Girardot, who helped develop France's first dash, that is 5 letters, which is an acronym system in 1930s, said this of Tesla's speculation that a very strong high-frequency signal would be needed for this device. Tesla was prophesying or dreaming, since he had at his disposal no means of carrying them out. At least he was dreaming correctly. What device used to locate things?
Radar.
Yes, this is radar or radio detection and dating. Can use that for predicting weather and stuff. Yeah. measuring weather, like storms and stuff. Last question of the game. Similar to Wi-Fi, this communication technology uses light rays to transfer data between a source and target. This technology can function in areas otherwise susceptible to electromagnetic interference, like aircraft cabins and hospitals. And what is it called? Five seconds.
Beam.
Sorry,
BAM, beam.
incorrect. To Dhruv.
I'll say Li-Fi, L-I-F-I.
Yes, it is indeed Wi-Fi. So Wi-Fi is wireless fidelity, and we are looking for light fidelity, which is Wi-Fi. Excellent game. So everybody
Okay,
played
everyone.
nicely.